What's up, guys? I hope you are having an amazing day. 2020 is almost over, so we can celebrate that. Before the year ended, I kind of wanted to start a YouTube channel and show you guys some of my autographs. Today I'm going to be doing DVDs because if I did everything, that would be a much longer video than I want. So let's get started. First up is one of the first people I ever met, Paul Rubens. I met him at Boston Fan Expo in 2018, I think. He was $80, kind of expensive, but he was a big hero of mine for a long time. I liked him ever since I was a kid. He wrote, "Hi Cameron, your pal, Pee Wee Herman," and then he signed Paul Rubens. And a lot of people meet him and he doesn't sign Paul Rubens and he just signs Pee Wee, which I think is a little weird, but I was happy to get his signature along with Pee Wee Herman. And he also signed the Blu-ray on the inside. I like to get my Blu-rays and DVDs signed. A lot of people think it's weird, but I think it makes it more specific to the movie, even though it doesn't really make it watchable again. Next up, we have Batman the Animated Series. I sent one of the covers away to get signed and haven't gotten it back yet, and I'm really hoping I do get it back because this was expensive. But first up, we have Richard Mole, who voiced Two-Face, and he was in a lot of episodes, so I was really happy to get him. He was also Bull on, what was it, Night Court, I think? I don't know, my parents know who he is. And then also Ron Perlman, who was also Hellboy, but he voiced Clayface in a few of the episodes. And I really liked Clayface, and so he was really cool to meet. He didn't talk that much, but he had a long line, so I understand. Next is a through the mail one. Sarah Jessica Parker from one of my personal favorite movies of all time, Mars Attacks. I've seen this movie a whole bunch of times, and I was really shocked to find out that not that many people have heard of it. It's got a whole bunch of famous people in it, like Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito. It has Tom Jones in a really funny role. And it's directed by Tim Burton. I don't understand how people haven't seen this movie before, but she was really nice to sign this for me. I know she probably has a super busy schedule, and I'm really happy that she set some time to sign it for me. Next up was another person from a con, Zach Galligan. I haven't heard that many nice things about him, and frankly, I can see why. I met him, and he said, "excellent," after he signed. That's all he said to me the entire time. And I tried to make conversation, but I guess he wasn't in the mood for it. I still love the movie. I love Phoebe Cates, so I won't let one bad experience ruin it for me. Next up is Richard O'Brien, another through the mail autograph. He plays Riff Raff in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This movie is weird, but I love it with all my heart. It's such a fun movie, and I can see why people rewatch it over and over and over again because it's fun. It's a musical. And he also wrote the songs and the screenplay, I think, and he was really nice to send this back, and he paid for the postage. It went to his P.O. box in the UK, but then over to his house in New Zealand, and it didn't take that long. He doesn't usually do cons, so I don't think I'd ever meet him, so I thought, hey, why not mail him something? Next up is a video game. I'm not really a big gamer, but I love the Outlast games, all of them. And Sean Baichu wrote to me, I wrote to him, and he sent it back to me. He wrote, "Hey Cameron, thanks for the wonderful letter and for being such a fan of the game. Stay awesome, my friend. Wishing you all the best. Peace, Sean Baichu." This guy's awesome. I was really happy he let me send this to him, and he signed it in a very reasonable time. And if he ever does a con near you, I suggest that you meet him because he's awesome. Next up is one of my personal favorites in my collection, Lorraine Gary, who played Ellen Brody in Jaws 1, 2, and 4. She doesn't do any signings, and there aren't that many autographs of hers available, so I was really happy to see that I got this one back. She wrote, "Cameron, thank you for your kind words, Lorraine Gary. I wrote to her, this was through the mail, so that is what that means." Next up is someone that does cons a lot, but I still wrote to him because I never met him. Tom Matthews, who played Tommy Jarvis in Jason Lives. He wrote, "Cameron, Jason dies, Tom Matthews," and I think it's kind of funny that he wrote Jason dies on the cover of the movie Jason Lives. If I ever met him, I'd probably meet him for the video game because he voiced Tommy Jarvis in the video game also, and I loved it even though it got shut down in 2020, of course. Next up is Vera Miles, who played Lila Crane in the first Psycho and reprised her role in the second one, which I also really, really like. She was kind of the first Scream Queen ever, if you think about it, and this was another through the mail one. I was really surprised that she signed because she's 91 or something. So I was really happy to get this. Next up, I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I don't understand why it's that bad. It's got a lot of violence, and that's kind of what the Friday the 13th franchise is known for. It's never really been known for a soap opera story or anything. And this is John D. LeMay, and he wrote All the Best, Cameron, John D. LeMay, and he played Steve Freeman, right? I think so, yeah. He played Steve Freeman in this movie. He was kind of the final boy, not really the final girl, but he put up one heck of a fight, and I thought that he was really awesome in this. Next up is a few DVDs and Blu-rays that I have signed. The first one was another through the mail one. Gavin Hammond, who played Kenny in seasons 1, 2, and a little bit of 3 of The Walking Dead. He was one of my favorite characters. He's really awesome, Kenny and Gavin Hammond, because he paid for extra postage to make sure that my game didn't get damaged. And if I ever saw him at a con, I'd definitely meet him because he seems like an awesome guy. Next up is another through the mail one, Kevin Bacon. Ironically, he's one of the biggest people that I have, and he was the quickest turnaround time. I sent out one day and 4 days later got him back. He lives in Sharon, Connecticut, and I sent to his P.O. box in Sharon, Connecticut. So that's kind of why, but I was still really surprised because I bet he gets a lot of fan mail. And then if we open it up, I have the autograph of Victor Miller, who wrote the first Friday the 13th. And there's kind of some controversy with the lawsuit going on, but regardless, he still contributed to a movie that I love. He wrote Cameron, All the Best, Victor Miller, and maybe not the best handwriting ever, but I think the autograph looks really cool. Next up, even more Friday the 13th autographs. The front of it is signed by Kane Hodder. A lot of people say that he is one of the coolest people to meet at a convention, and I can see why, because he was really friendly and he talked to me for a while. I also had him sign my Hatchet poster, which I might show in another video. He wrote to Cameron, Kane Hodder, Jason. And usually he signs Jason 7, 8, 9, and X, but let's be honest, he's the definitive Jason, so I wasn't mad about that. This is one of my only bought autographs. Betsy Palmer, who played Pamela Voorhees in Friday the 13th Part 1. Unfortunately, she passed away before I could ever meet her, and I really wanted her autograph, and I saw this index card on eBay for $15, so I had to get it. I really wish I could have met her, but I hear she's really nice, so if you met her, you're really lucky, and I'm jealous of you. Next up is someone I did get to meet. He actually came to my local mall and did a signing, Ari Lehman. He wrote Cameron, Jason Never Dies, Ari Lehman, Jason 1. He was really, really, really friendly, and he was with his band, First Jason. He played Jason at the end when he pops out of the water and scares the whole audience, and especially me. And next up is Larry Zerner. He was another through the mail autograph. He does a lot of cons, but I haven't met him yet. But I would definitely meet him because he seems really cool. I sent this to his law firm, and he sent it back to me pretty quickly. Next up, a lot of people don't like Part 5, but I thought it was really... Actually, I like it more than the first one because this is another mystery like the first one, but this is someone you can actually kind of guess who the killer is. With the first one, Pamela Voorhees doesn't show up until 3/4 of the way through, but Dick Wieand, who played Roy Burns, or also Jason in number 5, he signed this, and I met him in Maryland at Monster Mania Con, the best convention of all time. He was really, really nice, and we talked for a while. He told me that he was a veteran, and that's why he married his wife. Yeah, we talked for a while. He was really cool. This is CJ Graham, who played Jason in Part 6. He was also really cool. A lot of really cool people in the Friday the 13th series. He talked to me for a while. We talked about Batman, stuff like that. You don't really expect to talk about anything aside from Friday the 13th when you go and talk to these people, but you're surprised and walk away with a cool story. And this is another one of my first autographs, Lar Park Lincoln. She played Tina in Friday the 13th Part 7, which is my personal favorite in the entire franchise. I see that it doesn't get the best reviews, but I think it's unique and cool. It's Carrie versus Jason. What can you not like about it? Last but certainly not least is my Chucky Complete 7 movie collection. Of all the horror movie franchises out there, Chucky has always been one of my favorites because I don't think there's really a bad movie in the entire franchise. I know a lot of people hate to see the Chucky, but I honestly thought it was kind of funny and a nice break from the constant horror and horror and horror and horror. Nothing on the first one, but I'd love to get Catherine Hicks on there someday. On the second one is Kyle. She was the main girl in Child's Play 2, but she also made a brief cameo at the end of Cult of Chucky. And she wrote to Cameron, Christine Elise, Kyle. She was really cool. I got a picture with her, and she held up a Chucky doll from Trick or Treat Studios, and all for $10, I think. So that was really awesome. This one was Jennifer Tilly. She was through the mail, and I was really happy to get her. She usually doesn't sign through the mail, and actually I haven't seen another case where she has, except for me, and I was really, really happy to get this because she doesn't do cons that much. She wrote to Cameron, enjoy, love, Jennifer Tilly, Tiffany, XO. She wrote a lot, and this is one of my most proud autographs that I have. Next up is Billy Boyd. He was Glenn/Glenda in Seed of Chucky. He wrote Cameron, best wishes, Billy Boyd, Glenn, Glenda. He was really, really cool to meet. He was mostly signing for Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I think he played Pippin, something like that, because I haven't watched the movies. But he was really happy to sign something that was a little bit different. Lastly is a horror alumni, Danielle Bizzuti. She was in Insidious Chapter 2. She played the mom of the Bride in Black. She wrote to Cameron, Hart, Danielle Bizzuti, Barb. She did free selfies, and I have nothing but respect for people that go to cons and they take selfies with people for free because they understand that fans are really the ones that make them. That's my entire horror DVD autograph collection. If you want me to go through some other stuff that I have, like posters and pictures, let me know and I'd be happy to do it. Take care, guys.